Dream Life Method video number 8. Still sick, but here we go. If you are having trouble manifesting, if you are struggling with the big goals and the bigger dreams that you have and all of like the more major manifestations, things that feel like that's a lot, but you have a lot going on in life. There's a lot of chaos happening in your life. There's a lot that feels like it's moving against you in your life. That is going to make it very, very difficult to manifest. And that's one of the reasons why the first half of this series was talking about the importance of working with your nervous system and making sure that your nervous system felt safe and felt in alignment, and getting to know yourself as well is also important. And so as you are trying to move through what you're trying to manifest and really figure out what you need the most with your prioritizations, it could be, for a lot, money being number one, and I've already spoken about that. And I will probably do a series that's just specifically about money. Same series, but just like make that week all about manifesting money and some tips for that, because it is the number one thing for a lot of people. And if you have financial abundance, then that is going to generate a lot more opportunities in life, and that is also going to take away a lot of stressors, and it is going to just, there's so much more freedom when you have financial abundance. So I think it is a very important thing to cover. However, if you are in a very chaotic point in your life right now, if your nervous system is in survival mode, even if that is what it is used to, it is going to make it a lot more difficult to manifest. And that's why, one of the reasons why when you see some people are able to manifest so easily, their nervous system is probably not in survival mode. And maybe you're so used to it that you don't realize that you're in survival mode. And so I just want to kind of reiterate that you need to really definitely, I try to identify like what kind of stress is going on in your life right now. Even if you're used to the stress, even if it's your norm, that doesn't mean that it is good for you. So what can you do to try to help your nervous system? What stressors can you take away right now? What things can you take off of your plate? And what can you replace with something that is better for you? What can you add in that feels better than something that doesn't feel good for you? And that could even be something that you think might be going against your goals. Like if you are someone that works out in the gym very, very hard, and you're just like super consistent with it, and no matter how you feel, especially as a woman, because our hormones are fluctuating all month long, and maybe if you just kind of realize, like, if I were to cycle sync, then that would be better for my body, especially my nervous system, and trying to calm that down. Maybe, because there have been a lot of women that have realized that they have worked out very hard in the gym and like weight trained consistently, and then they realized that they were getting burned out and it was too much for their system. So they found a new way of working out. Or maybe they did 3 times a week instead of 5 times a week. Maybe they did 1 hour instead of 2 hours. Maybe they switched up from a certain way of weight training to adding in something else as well. I don't know. There's just so many different ways that could go. It's hard to even try to explain, especially when my head hurts this much. But basically, even if you think like, well, working out this much it's good for me, it's gotta be. Maybe if you try it in a different way, it's going to feel better to your body, especially as a woman. And I would highly recommend, and I might kind of talk about it at some point if people are actually interested, but looking into the research that has been done towards women-specific studies on our hormones and our fitness and things like that, because we haven't gotten a lot of studies on women. That's an unfortunate fact. And there is a couple of videos on the Huberman podcast where there is a woman, and I cannot think of her name right now, but she does specialize in researching women-specific hormone health and talks about fitness and things like that. You also need to find what really works well for you, because we're all individuals and we're all different. And so don't think that it's a one-size-fits-all thing. That's another part of it. But if you are having trouble getting those manifestations in, especially the bigger manifestations, what about smaller manifestations? What are things that you can do right now that is in more support of your chaos? What can you take off of your plate, and what can you maybe not even add in at all? But if it feels like, you know what, it would be a lot better for me if I read before I went to bed than to scroll on my phone. Maybe try that instead. Maybe instead of, if you feel like you're doom scrolling, you need to refine your algorithm and make it into stuff that can teach you something that will feel better. Watch animal videos and learning things about how you can make your life better. Is that money? Is that how to cook? Is that different kinds of workouts? Is that how to change your oil? There can be so many different things that you could be learning instead of freaking out your nervous system, and that is going to be a much better thing as well. Also, if you are the type of person that can't look at other people without comparing yourself and feeling like shit from looking at how they're living or how they're looking, then get that off your algorithm. Get away from that. If it's not inspiring to you, if you can't turn it into something inspiring, then stay away from it. Especially right now while you are trying to work on your nervous system in order to help you manifest. And what are the smaller goals? The smaller, more, maybe even it would feel more tangible if you were to say, I would really like to manifest myself a free coffee. It's something that's a lot smaller, and some people need the proof. They need the proof before they can continue. And I think also, again, working on what are the things that you can do right now that is already in alignment with your dream self and your dream life. Because there has to be things that you can do right now that is in perfect alignment with that you're just not doing right now. And that could also help. But again, like, I don't know your life, and there are so many different scenarios that I can't just be like, here's this perfect formula and that fit for everyone. So you are going to have to explore this yourself, and I really caution you of listening to people that try to give you this one formula for every person, because it just doesn't work that way. There might still be things to learn off of them. I'm not saying don't. There could still be things to learn, but you have to use discernment for all of this stuff. And even if you are someone that says manifestation is very woo-woo, that's fine. But if you're someone that has goals, then you can still use the techniques. You can still learn and utilize some of these techniques to help you reach your goals, because that is a lot of what manifestation is. And once you get energetically aligned with things and your nervous system ready to receive, then it is going to make it a lot easier, and things are going to feel a lot better. If you have a high stress life, that's relatable, and you really do need to start coming up with ways to bring that stress down, and what can you do to make that happen. Again, too many different scenarios that I could try to go through. So do that with yourself. If you need to write it down, then write it down. And yeah, I highly recommend figuring your own shit out, and just know that Is your system protecting you?